Hey guys, so I'm in Andover, New Jersey today to visit Hillside Park. Hillside Park is a very nice, well-maintained, well-manicured family park. There's ball fields, there's picnic areas, there's a big hall that you can rent out for other types of activities. But Hillside Park has a very unfortunate past, because before it was Hillside Park, it was Camp Nordland. And Camp Nordland was a Nazi youth camp right here in New Jersey.
Das alles ist Zeit! Die große Zeit ist jetzt angebrochen. Deutschland ist nun erwacht. Die Macht haben wir nun in Deutschland gewonnen. Nun gilt es, das deutsche Volk zu gewinnen. Ich weiß es, meine Kameraden.
So guys, there's a great website that I'll link in the description from an article in the New Jersey Herald all about the history of Camp Nordland and how it ended up becoming Hillside Park. For the sake of my video today, I'm just going to sort of give you the Cliff's Notes version. So back in the early 30s, there was a national organization of German immigrants called the Friends of New Germany. And at some point, they changed the name to the German American Bund, B-U-N-D. Bund stands for League, so German American League. And the guy who ran the New Jersey chapter of the German American League was a guy named August Klaproth. The New Jersey chapter of the German American League bought this whole big parkland, 200 acres or so. And on 4th of July, 1932-33, something like that, they had their first festival with some 8,000 people or so showing up to take part in the festivities, which included celebrating what was going on over in Germany under Hitler's rule. He had just recently, at that time, he had just recently annexed Austria to Germany and also just taken over, I want to say, Czechoslovakia. Not 100% on that. So, but this is before World War II, and Hitler hadn't quite become what we know of him today. But he was on his way. You know, blaming Jews for all the wrongs of the world at the time. And so the New Jersey chapter of the German American League were showing their support for what Hitler was doing and basically holding activities, training their children in all of the ways that were happening over in Germany. But they also had activities for adults, and so they were allowed to sell alcohol. And that's key, because at some point, a couple of years into what the German American League were doing, at some point they had to renew their liquor license. And it was then that Sussex County residents took the opportunity to try and put an end to what the German American League were doing. And they used the excuse of not renewing the liquor license as a way to try and shut these people down. The problem was they were immigrants, and so effectively they were American citizens, and so as long as they weren't hurting anyone, they were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do. That's what makes our country great, is even the most hateful can organize and gather and demonstrate as long as they're not hurting anyone. And so that's what the German American League were doing here at Camp Nordland. But anyway, they lost their liquor license, and this guy that ran the New Jersey chapter appealed that decision. And when it went to appeals, a large number of the town residents came out to oppose the appeal. And it was during that trial that someone on the city council laid out a whole list of reasons why August Klaproth and his German American League should be shut down. And I've got those reasons right here. I'm going to read them out to you.
Und niemals ermüden und niemals verzagen und niemals verzweifeln. Eine neue Volksgemeinschaft wird in Deutschland aufgebaut, und es ist das schönste und das herrlichste Ziel, das es gibt. Es ist der Mut zu bedauern.
The first reason. On July 4th of 1939, the German American League paraded in uniforms similar to those worn in Nazi Germany and imitated the Hitler salute. Reason number 2. Pamphlets, books, and propaganda inciting race and religious hatred have been circulated and disseminated. Reason number 3. Speeches and harangues have been made endorsed with hails, advocating that those who insult Hitler be punched in the nose, that Jews be deported, that all Jewish merchants and all newspapers, moving picture houses, and program sponsors who employ Jews in preference to Gentiles be boycotted. Fourth reason. The Nazi flag had been flown above the American flag. Fifth reason. Stress has been laid upon embedding the purpose of the League in the minds of the youth, who, naturally enough, are considered the lifeline. Parents who are members of the League are urged to cause their children to attend the camp's affairs. Song words such as, "We have sworn an oath to our flag," "The flag is our faith in God, people, and country," were taught to them. Sixth reason. Dictators have been glorified, democracies have been derided. Seventh reason. The Nazi salute has been given while the Star-Spangled Banner was played. Eighth reason. The swastika is omnipresent. In the picture of George Washington, it is stuck under his nose. And the ninth reason. Everywhere there is an undercurrent of accumulating and uniformed force to be unleashed when the right moment comes and the word is passed. Drill, goose-step, emulate. As we have achieved in Germany, so will we do in America. Now the thing about all this is this guy, August Klaproth, says he himself never took part in any of those 9 things, but he also didn't deny that they occurred. And so that was the reason that the appeal for the liquor license was denied. Unfortunately, simply not having a liquor license didn't put an end to the practices at Camp Nordland, and as they were, like I said before, constitutionally protected, their activities were allowed to continue. Until 4th of July, 1940. Up until that point, the Sussex County Sheriff, in cooperation with the FBI, had been investigating Camp Nordland to the best of their ability to try and build a case against them and to, put an end to their activities, because this is all before our involvement in World War II, but things were certainly heating up to the point where we were about to be involved and about to go to war against Hitler and against Germany. But it wasn't until July 4th of 1940 that 3 of the German American League leaders were finally arrested, the New Jersey chapter. Later on, another 7 from the national organization were arrested. In October of 1940, indictments were finally issued, and in February of 1941, all of the suspects were sentenced. Now, the article that I'm getting all this information from doesn't say what that sentence was, doesn't say if they went to jail or for how long, but ultimately, Camp Nordland was put to an end in February of 1941. By 1945, the state had acquired the land and turned it into Hillside Park and what we know of today. And it's been this way ever since 1945. And also, if you hike into the woods a little bit, there are some remains and foundations of houses and other dwellings that were used by the people who ran Camp Nordland. There's not much left today. When I was here about 4 years ago, there was a lot more to see. But as you can see in the video that I'm showing now, there's not a whole lot left. And what is left is pretty dangerous to be crawling on. Anyway. Alright guys, so that's about it for my video on Camp Nordland and the cupola house that you can see there. I hope you liked it. Crazy to think that there were so many supporters of Hitler here in New Jersey. I don't want to get too political in my videos here, but you know, it's hard for people in my generation to kind of wrap their heads around the idea that there were actually Nazis here in New Jersey. But at the same time, we've got, you know, it's 2016 and we're kind of going through a crazy election year. And there's a guy currently running for president that can easily and very simply be described as crazy and megalomaniacal, and some people have even compared him to Hitler. And so, you know, the way I picture it, the same way that there are, as I'm sure, American Republicans currently living overseas that will be, you know, sending in their vote by mail or however they do that. You know, they support the guy and they are living in another country. And that's kind of how I wrap my head around the idea that prior to World War II, there were actually Nazis here in New Jersey that supported Hitler and all of his craziness. Anyway, interesting piece of New Jersey history. I hope you like my videos. If you do, give it a thumbs up. I will, as always, put the location of Hillside Park down in the description. I will also link to the article from the New Jersey Herald where I'm getting all this information, so you can read the whole thing for yourself. And If you know of any cool places that I should go visit, leave a comment. So until I see you next time, as I'm about to get into my Volkswagen, go take a hike.